Hello all and welcome to my channel, where science, technology, engineering, and math are made easy. Today I'm going to be doing a Python tutorial where I show you how to use dictionaries in Python. Without further ado, let us begin. So first of all, what are dictionaries? Well, dictionaries, they are data structures that store data in key value pairs. And you're going to see that through this entire video. So let's start off with the most basic of functions, len, type, and get. So I'm going to start off with Arkham. I'm a huge Batman fan, and I've really been getting into the comics, so let's focus on this. I'm going to choose Joker, 1776. Riddler, 1812, Two-Face, 1865, and finally, Penguin, 1917. So there's several different functions I can do. I'm just use the basic print function, print Arkham, and this prints out all our values in the exact order. Now suppose if you want to print out a specific value, so I'm going to go print Arkham Joker. And it prints the numeric value for Joker. Now if I were to put in Penguin, I would get 1917. So this up here, prints out the entire list. This down here prints out the number it's equal to. Now let's use len, type, and get. I'm going to do type first. Print, type, Arkham. This basically asks what is Arkham, and Arkham is a dictionary. If Arkham was a tuple, it would say tuple. If Arkham was a list, it would say list. But since it's a dictionary, Arkham is a dictionary. So these, you see these little curly brackets? That means it's a dictionary. This means it's a list, and this means it's a tuple. So I'm going to write it down beneath. So we have dictionary equals list equals tuple equals. So those are the differences. Now dictionaries, lists, and tuples work differently. They have different functions and whatnot, but this is a very basic, very elementary, very surface level way to tell them apart. So I'm going to go on to len. Print len Arkham. There's 4 values in Arkham: Joker, Riddler, Two-Face, or Penguin. Or if you wanted to count it by numeric values, 1776, 1812, 1865, 1917. Now let's use the get function. Print Arkham.get. Let's put in Two-Face. The value of Two-Face is 1865. So the get function works very similar to this up here, but it's not exactly the same. Now let's use the zip function. I'm going to use Arkham again, but this time make it Arkham 2. I'm going to give it to 3 values. Killer Moth, and I'm going to give it 1066. Bane, I'm going to make that 1492. I'm going to have Mad Hatter, and I'm going to make that 1648. Let's make it negative 1648 to spice things up. Wait, I got it wrong. There's no numeric values here. There's no numeric values in a zip, so please forgive me. So now let's go down to numbers. So we're going to have 1066, 1492, 1648, let's just say negative 1712. I know this is different than the numeric values I put above, but it'll work. And let's put equals equal dictionary zip Arkham2 numbers. And we're going to print equals. Okay, see my error? You see this? This does not match this. So I'm just going to make it the correct one, just a small mistake. And this was never closed properly, so I need another one of these. So now it works. So it pairs Killer Moth with the first value, Bane with the second value, and Mad Hatter with the third value. Now if I wanted to get the fourth value in, I would have to add yet another villain, and I'm going to add Hush. So this is the new villain added to it. So don't forget, these should not look like these. So I'm going to make a little note for that. So me and you can remember. This does not equal this. And I'm going to add another little note. Don't forget to put an extra parentheses so that the code will work. So just remember that. What you just learned now is that even if you have one little bitty mistake wrong, the whole code doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you have 100 pages of code and it's all perfect. If one little part of it is wrong, then the whole thing doesn't work. So let's go down to the updating function. I'm going to do DC as in DC Comics. I'm going to set it equal to Superman, and I'm going to give him 1939. Then we're going to have Aquaman, which is 10,191. Now I could just print DC and use the same functions I've been doing, but what if I wanted to add things to it? So that's what I'm going to do here. What if I wanted to change Superman's value to 2026, the year I'm making this video? DC Superman equals 2026. Now let's print out DC. If this function didn't exist, it would say Superman 1939 and then Aquaman 10,191. But since I added this in, it updates Superman's numeric value. Now if we wanted to add new values, so I'm going to say DC2 equals Cyborg, and let's make him -1, and the Flash, which I'm just going to make 0. Now I'm going to say DC2.update. Print DC2. So this prints DC2. So this is from our first time. So from our first print, forgive me. So this right here ties up to this. Now this just prints our new values. But what if we wanted to combine them? Well, here's what I'm going to do. You see, by putting DC here, I essentially combine the two values. So once again, this is what we originally have, but this combines them all. Now what if we wanted to delete values? So I'm going to have Batcave equals Batman 1987, and let's just add one more, Robin, and we're going to make it 1991. So let's add bat cave dot pop. And suppose we really don't like Batman, so we're going to put Batman here. And we're going to print bat cave. Now what this does is it prints out Robin since we got rid of Batman. So what happens if we put Robin in? Then it'll print out Batman. I think this example will work better if I add more values to it. So let's go and do that. Nightwing. Let's make him 1983. Let's have Red Hood. Let's make him 1700. So suppose we get rid of Nightwing. Well, then we'll just print everything else out. So you print Batcave, but since Nightwing is deleted, Nightwing isn't printed. So let's do pop item. Pop item prints out the last value. So pop item will print out Red Hood. So we're going to have bat cave dot pop item. Now with the basic pop function, you have to specify what you want deleted. Whether that's Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, whatever variables you have. But for pop item, it simply prints out the last value, so you don't have to specify. So print bat cave. And it simply prints out the everything except the last value. So it prints out Batman, Robin, and Night. Print. Okay, ignore that, ignore that. This is the correct one. So we originally removed Nightwing, which is here, and for the second one, we simply print out the last value, which is Red Hood. Pretty simple. Forgive me for these amateurish mistakes. You're going to make a lot of them where you think you really know a topic and you understand the general idea and how it works, but you just make a little mistake. And as I showed you, a little bit of troubleshooting will make it okay. So this time, let's do Marvel. And let's just have one variable, Iron Man. And let's just say equals 1312. Print Iron Man in Marvel. Now this is a simple true or false question. Iron Man is in Marvel, so it's true. Now suppose we put in Captain America. Captain America is not in this list, so it's false. Now suppose we put an Iron Man in all caps. Iron Man. It's also false. As I said earlier, one little mistake will ruin it. You see, computers and codes look at things differently than humans. We can obviously tell that Iron Man is in Marvel. However, to the computer, since it's all capitalized, then it's not. We could have Iron Man, but you see how the final N is capitalized? It's still false. It has to exactly be the same for it to be true. So let's go on to for loops. So, continuing with Marvel, well, I'm going to do it with Spider-Man equals. Let me think of a good Spider-Man villain, just for a second. Kraven the Hunter, and let's just say 1965. And by the way, the numeric values I'm putting in are not when these characters were released. If it does, it's just pure coincidence. That's for all you die-hard comic book fans out there. So let's continue. Dr. Octopus. Let's say he's 34. And for a final one, let's say Venom, a Spider-Man classic at 12. So I'm going to say for I in Spider-Man, have to make it perfect, print I. And what I've just printed out is our strings. Now, our strings are anything between quotation marks. They're not our numeric values. So let's print out our numeric values now. For I in Spider-Man, I have to correct this one mistake again, capitalizing the P. Print Marvel. And this, wait a second, I made another small error. Oh, okay, the mistake I made was I didn't put Spider-Man here. Before I made this video, I titled the Spider-Man variable Marvel, and I just got them mixed up, so it's just another small error. So we have our numeric values now. So focus on what I did here, rather than what I did a few seconds ago. Now suppose you wanted to combine our strings and our numeric values. How would we do that? Well, I'm going to separate these so they're easier to see for you. For I in Spider-Man, I have to correct the same mistake I've been making. Print I Spider-Man I. And this prints out the strings, then the numeric values. Now what if you don't want to put the numeric values before the strings? Well, I'm going to put Spider-Man here, and I'm just going to make this I. So now we have the numeric values before the strings. Now, preferably, you'll want the strings before the numeric values, as it just looks cleaner and easier and neat. But depending on your needs or wants, or whether you want it to be different, you can do whatever you want. Now let's go on to this. This is another way to do it. So I'm going to say for key value in Spider-Man dot items print key comma value. Another small error. I know I keep making it, but please forgive me. I'm an amateur to this. I know the concepts. It is little typos like this throw me off. So this is another way to do it. So this output is this right here. So let's go into keys, values, items. Enough about comic books. I want to do Star Wars. So Star Wars equals, let's just choose 3. Han Solo. We're going to make it 19. Luke Skywalker. Let's make it 299. And finally, we're going to do Yoda at 5,000. So I'm going to have print Star Wars dot keys. And what this prints out is this is what it prints out. Now let's try it with values. Print Star Wars dot values. So keys prints out our strings, values prints out our numeric values. Now let's see what items print out. Print Star Wars dot items. Now items print out both our strings and our numeric values. So keys print out strings. Values print out numeric values. And items print out both. Folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching my video. Please be brutally honest and tell me what you think. Please recommend it to a friend. And oh, by the way, I have a website. It's called Python Imperium. The link is in the description. It's still a new website, but check it out. It has some of my older videos, and I hope you really enjoy it. And thank you, and goodbye.